Hello everyone. Today I am going to present my second lecture on web development. You can watch my first lecture on YouTube channel Learning Veda or my website www.learningveda.com. So today we are going to discuss PHP introduction, installation, some basic concept, basic syntax, and internal pillars of PHP, then how PHP works with web server. Now if you are going to develop any website, then you need these four things. First one is web server, second is PHP, then MySQL to deal with database, and then code editor. Code editors, you can choose any like Notepad++, Dreamweaver, and Visual Studio Code. Now PHP developed by Rasmus Ladorf in 1995. He developed it for his personal use, but after that many versions came. At present version 7 is going on. You can check the latest version on his website www.php.com. Now PHP stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. It is interpreted, high level, general purpose programming language, server side scripting language. If you are going for an interview, then interviewer can ask anything about these four terms. First one is interpreted. Now languages are differentiated between like low level, high level, specific, general purpose, compiled, interpreted. So you should know the difference between them. First one, compiled or interpreted. In compiled languages, code is in the form of pretty much pieces of components that are required to be assembled before you go to any work and run it, right? So code will be in a block or a structured form before run. That will take time, okay? But in interpreted languages, code is not in a actual block or a structure, but it is in blueprints form. Computer will take them and interpret them, structure them on the fly. When you will send any request, then it will structure them. That means dynamically on runtime. That's why it is also called a dynamic language. Okay, so it's faster too. Now second one is high level. Before you know about high level, go to the low level. What is low level? It's very close to what the machine understand. If you are writing any code in low level languages, then that code will be mostly machine understandable. Okay, you can take an example of binary, mostly hardware oriented. Okay, that does not have some semantic so that human can understand. Now our PHP is high level language. High level language means human understandable. It is abstract and also provide many ways to interpret codes with their semantics so that human can understand. Okay, that's why it is pretty much easy to use. Third term is general purpose programming. General purpose versus specific. Both the terms deals with the domain. First one is specific. Specific means you can take an example of MATLAB. If you want to do some scientific calculation, then you will go to the MATLAB. MATLAB performs these calculations very quickly. That means MATLAB has some domain specific workings or functions. Okay, but in general purpose like PHP, it enables you to do whatever we want to do, right? We can take an example of Google search. There you can write anything you want, and your request will be processed. Okay, so, and fourth term is server side scripting language. That means your PHP code will be run on server side. Now, why you choose PHP? First one is open source. Open source software means everything is free. You can download all the versions of PHP without paying any money. You can use the code without any restrictions. Then second one is platform independent. Now this is very important for the interview purpose also, because interviewer can ask you what is platform. Now platform is nothing but a combination of preprocessors, architecture plus operating system software. Preprocessors deal with how to deal with hardware, and operating system softwares which are installed on your PC, a laptop or etc. So PHP can work with any platform like Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. And then third one is performance. As I told you that it is a interpreted language, that means it's faster. Now database support. It supports almost all popular databases like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, etc. Web server support. It supports all servers like Apache, Tomcat, etc., which are generally we used. It supports object-oriented programming too, that is the need of R. And HTML is embedded with PHP. When you write code for PHP file, you can embed your PHP code within HTML file. Okay. Now we will talk about servers which we will install in your PC. First one is XAMPP, which is popular. I'm also using this, and this WAMP. These two are popular. Others are LAMP and MAMP. I have given this description of XOS, Apache, MySQL, PHP and Perl, and for WAMP 2 interviewer can ask about it. When you will say na, I am using this XAMPP or WAMP, then he can ask about it. Now for installation, you can install XAMPP by going to this link, follow the steps, and you can install it, the latest version. Now for database, install MySQL from go to this link and install phpMyAdmin. Use this link, and for PHP go to this link and download the latest version. These all are free things, you don't have to pay anything. When you will install them, your XAMPP server will look like this. First you will start this Apache and MySQL. Okay, after that only you can start your phpMyAdmin to work with database. You can do some settings also by going to this config or this admin or admin file, config files. Okay, phpMyAdmin will look like this, where you will create your database and tables. How to work with them, I will explain it in next lecture, where we will start coding practice. Your editor, I'm using this Notepad++, and here you will write your code. Now for running your code, you will write this URL in your web browser. First you will write localhost, then the project name what you will create, and then file name. Now we will talk about some syntax for PHP. There are three ways to write your PHP code. First one is universal tag, most popular, because you have written here PHP, so you can understand that this is a PHP code. Like in short open tags you will not write PHP. In HTML script tags you have to write script language PHP and script. Mostly we will use this format. Okay, you can use any of them. Now your program will be look like this. This is HTML code. In between you have used your PHP code. You want to display hello world. Okay, when you will run this program, this output will come, hello world. We will do coding practice in next lecture. Now if you want to learn about working of the PHP, you should know these 4 terms: client, server, API and HTTP. In interview purpose, yes, these are too much important, because interviewer can ask them. Now what is client? Client is you can explain client like it is a piece of software or hardware that listens for specific for client that sends out some request and computes the response in a predefined fashion. Yeah, client can send request to the server and server will listen them, process them and response them. Okay, now API is application programming interface. It allows various programs to interact through a known communication method. Now HTTP, it's a hypertext transfer protocol. It is a standard for communicating over web that's universally agreed upon. Okay, everyone is using and everyone know about it. Internal pillars of PHP. First, Zend machine. It will take care of core operations of PHP. Then PHP extensions. They will allow us to run various services like database services, etc. And server API. How we are going to use PHP in our system, that will be supported by server API, user plugins like this. Now how PHP works. Now we will talk about requests. Like client is working on website, he will type some URL on the URL address bar and press enter. Now this request will go to the server. Request can be sent to the server by 3 ways. First one is you can type URL and press enter. Second one is you can submit on some form. You can submit form and request will be sent to the server, or you are going to click on a link, right? Now you are sending request to the web server. So like you send request to the web server and your request has PHP code. Okay, web server will realize that the request has PHP code, so it will be handled by PHP interpreter, which will now server will send this request to the PHP interpreter. PHP interpreter will see that if request require any operation related to the file system, then it will send this request to the file system. File system will prepare response and send it back to the PHP interpreter. Now if your request has some operations regarding database, then PHP interpreter will send this request to the database and database will prepare the response and give it back to the PHP interpreter. Now if your request has some operations regarding mail servers, then request will be sent to the mail server, and mail server will give response back to the PHP interpreter. Now PHP interpreter will handle the PHP code of that file and give the response to the web server. Now web server will have a response which have only HTML code and a data which is going to be displayed on website or web page. Now response will be sent back to the client. Client will able to see the response, or you can say web page, and he will become happy. So like this PHP works. Then now we will talk about what is echo, what is print, how you will display the data on web page. Now PHP and echo both are PHP statements and both are used to display the output in PHP. There are some differences we can see here. Echo is faster than print. Echo can pass multiple strings separated by comma. Here you can pass multiple strings to display, but in print can't pass multiple arguments. You have to pass it by one. Now echo does not return any value, but print always return a value 1. This is the format for echo and this is the format for print. I will use them in the next lecture. It will be clear to you. So know about this basic difference between echo and print. Interviewer can ask this. After that, how to use comments in PHP. Comments are not executable lines. This is for the user understandable. These are used to write description to your own understanding, more readable. Okay, and every developer knows what is the significance of comments. Single line comment, multi-line comment. For single line use hash or this. For multi-line comment use this. Okay, we will use them definitely. Now that's it for today's lecture. In next lecture we will start some coding practice. So you can go to my website www.learningveda.com. There you can download website and this lecture's slides. Okay, thank you.